Marvin gets on the phone with the wife and say, "Jam, bitch, get here." She was like, Rick, I think that it's best for me to yeah, I'll see you later. Hello, my patron loves. You know you are getting this video first. You deserve it because you pay me directly out of your pocket, and I respect it. All the rest of you, I love you too. So, hello, lovers. If you have not already done so, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube and the Patreon. And if you guys want to be a part of my official NayRob book club, please hit the Patreon link below for a monthly $5 membership, so you can be privy to all this good vibe. Because see, I'm not going to keep doing this on YouTube with y'all. I'm not going to keep doing it, you know. But anyway, guys, let's get into Rickety James Glow Autobiography Part 16. Remember where we left off? Rickety James is at the Funk Fest. Okay, and he over there, what's that word? I want to say, thinking of all kinds of vengeful thoughts of how he gonna get that motherfucker. So let me tell you what he did, okay? What Rickety James made sure that he did was that he always went on before George Clinton, okay, and Parliament and all them other peoples, okay? Because, you know, it's like 18 groups inside of one. You know, same thing with, you know, Rickety James in the Stone City Band. It's like 4 groups inside of one band, right? So anyway, child, what happened was, ooh, and I got a story about that, about George Clinton too. But I'm going to hold it because I might have to put that on the book list. But anyway, what happened was he played every time in front of George Clinton. His purpose was to funk the crowd so bad and to hit them so hard that they be so tired and so exhausted that they start walking out on George the Clinton. Child, that shit worked. It didn't work all the time, but it worked enough. So Rickety James felt like he got his, vengeance. Or he made up for all them times that George Clinton sold him them dreams about, oh yeah, brother, I'm gonna hook you up. I got a label for you. I got a man for you. But, you know, come on, where them potted donuts at? You know, and then we could talk after the potted donuts. But, you know, George Clinton ain't never get back to him. But I digress. Here we go. Rickety James is saying he is so satisfied with where his life is right now, except for in the matters of love. And then I said, hold on, Rickety James. Bruh, ain't you still married to Kelly? Don't you got a whole wife around here somewhere? But I digress. Marvin Gaye's wife, Jan. Rick said that she was beautiful, gorgeous, smart, hip, and most of all, she loved to get down with the boogity shoogity, just like me. And I'm like, Rickety James, somebody's wife, you can have any bitch in the world if you want to right now, even though, I mean, anybody right now, but, you know, I mean, okay, so you go after Marvin Gaye's wife, and what he did was he tried his hand and he invited Miss Jan to see him play at the LA Coliseum. Now, at the time, Marvin and Jan were living apart. Okay, but, you know, I guess he sees that as an opportunity to, you know, slide, you know, in, you know, child, just wait. When he had the show, he was disappointed because Jan had brung some other people. Yeah, that's what us women do. Especially if we attracted somebody and we were like, oh no, maybe I ought to bring a girlfriend to make sure that I don't fuck this dude. Now, I mean, this is the thing. This nasty motherfucker, Rickety James. Rickety James, you's a nasty tyrant out here. You hear me, Rickety James? He is a piece of work. But anyway, Rick James is feeling himself because he's realizing that Marvin Gaye is no longer the prince of Motown. Rickety James, is replacing the prince of Motown. Rickety James is saying, well, you know, Marvin ain't had a hit since Got to Give It Up. Indeed, that is a bad motherfucker, indeed. Okay. Rickety James sees it as his opportunity to pounce on Marvin Gaye's wife. Okay, even though they ain't together, in Rick James' mind, all of it's prey. You heard me. All of it's prey. All of it is the opportunity to fuck. Jan and Rick became lovers. Of course. Of course. Rickety James was like, I knew that Marvin was treating her bad and my dick was right there on the table waiting to treat her real good. Of course, with Rickety James being Rickety James, you know, he says to Jan, we can't keep doing this. You need to go back to your husband. After he fucked her. You know, the Street Songs was the biggest tour ever. Okay, now let's go through some of these cities and what was, you know, specific and exclusive to these cities that, you know, impacted Rickety James' life forever. So anyway, he down there to the Memphis, you know. He's a big fan of Elvis Presley. He goes to, what's it called? Graceland. I used to be a big fan of Elvis Presley too because that was what was all on TV. Y'all remember when we used to be on TV and we would call, it's a black person on TV. It's a black person on TV. When I tell my wife that, she thinks that is unbelievable. Yep. It was a big deal when blacks were on TV. But anyway, the biggest tour was Street Songs, okay? And when he stopped at Memphis, he had to go visit Elvis Presley's Graceland. Now, he was excited to see the place just like everybody else, but what happened was one of the guests or one of the tour people or one of the people that was a part of the tour had turned around and was like, Rickety James! All of a sudden, the crowd stopped paying attention to Elvis Presley and started paying attention to Rickety James. Now, they took it outside because Rickety James wanted to be respectful to Elvis Presley and Graceland. He was like, okay, guys, he's signing the autographs. And he's like, okay, guys, we are not here to see me. We're here to see Graceland, right? Now, when he told everybody to, like, you know, back off, he tried to head back in Graceland. Answer, no. He was like, oh, no, you will not be bringing your nigga bullshit where the people will be paying more attention to Rickety James than they will be to our Elvis the Presley. That will not happen. So he was disappointed with that. In Dallas, he had an interaction with a janky promoter. Okay, the promoter wanted Rickety James to stop off at his venue or his tour, but Rickety James said no. Okay, because you fugazi. I can't fuck with nobody more fugazi than me. Know that about Rickety James, child. He don't have time to fuck with a nigga more cruddier than him. What happened was the promoter got mad and tried to sue him. Problem was that Rickety James hired security to make sure that he could never get served with the papers to get sued. Then another, you know, situation that happened in Dallas was when the Dallas police came to him and said, look here, Rickety James, I heard you like to smoke them wacky cigarettes on stage. You will not be doing it here in Dallas. You will not disrespect the sanctity of this city. Rickety James pulled out his little, you know, white boy, smoked it on stage, looked over at the police and said, fuck you, okay? Nothing was done. You know, being the habitual line stepper that he is, he did it again the next night. Oh, the police, they was trying to run up on the stage, but what happened was all his groupies and roadies surrounded him to make sure that the police didn't get him. And while he was in the circle, he changed clothes with some old stinky, sweaty, funky dude and got out of there. I said, that damn Rickety James. We are in Pittsburgh. Ooh, the land of the Spill It boy. So here we go, a little bit more about Tina Marie. Here we are in Pittsburgh. It was the first time that him and Tina Marie made love. I think I'm gonna be sick. Tina started demanding more money. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen. So I'm fucking the headliner, okay? And, you know, I'm on tour with him. Yeah, you need to pay me. But you did it wrong, Tina. You're supposed to discuss the specifics before you lay down with the headliner. Dumb. What made it even worse for him, besides the fact that Tina was on tour with him, she was one of his opening acts, and she was demanding more money. because, she slept with him. Like I said, girl, demand the money up front. Get the business part out the way, then go to the other part, girl. But anyway, outside of that, Tina Marie was real close to Rickety James' sister Penny and Rickety James' little brother Roy, the powerful attorney that lives in Washington, D.C. now. Now, he say that the reason why Tina Marie started demanding money was because Tina Marie wanted Rickety James to be her exclusive boyfriend. Okay, Rickety James said no. What he also said about Tina Marie was that after a while, Tina Marie started handing Rickety James her ass to kiss. Okay, and he said that she finally found her strength and that he was proud of her for doing it. Yeah. She said she couldn't stand his ass. Now, here we go. We in Chicago. It would be Chicago that would take a nigga down. Chicago will take a nigga down by means of pussy, gambling, scams, drugs, so on and so on. Okay, but Chicago is where he fell in love with freebase. He was hooked. It was the greatest feeling he ever felt in his life, and all he knew is that he wanted to do it all the time. I told you that motherfucking Chicago. I ain't got no problems with you people from Chicago. Chicago love me and I love y'all. All I'm saying is just when you go there, it be different, shit's going on. That's all I'm saying. I don't fuck with it. Okay. He back to trying to find a connection with a woman. What you should have been doing was back to be trying to find you a rehab. That's what you should have been doing. But anyway, enter S0le and the baby. Okay, he been thinking about them. They been thinking about her. S0le came back around and was like, yeah, I need some money. Okay, because I've been taking care of, this baby, talk about Ty, a long time by myself. I need some money. And I know you like, damn. So he got S0le, his baby mother, Kelly, his wife, and he's still looking for love. He's still looking for love. But anyway, child, let's move on. So anyway, the relationship seemed to be, here and there. She would come up, give him some vagina. You know how you baby mothers do. You know how y'all do. When y'all want a little extra, y'all will fuck y'all baby father again. I'm just telling you the truth. Baby fathers be thinking, ooh, yeah, I got my baby mother wrapped around my finger. No, nigga. No. Them baby mothers be knowing him. Let me give my baby father, some pussy so he could throw me an extra $300. Child, you better pay attention. Rickety James said everything was good. Okay. But then she started saying, no, I need some real money. Clarence, I need $5 million. Now, Rickety James believes that it was S0le's mammy that put it in her mind. Rickety James was like, you trying to be that? I tell you what, bitch, I'll take my kids from you. Now, Rickety James knew in his heart that wasn't no damn judge going to give him his kids, period, because he would have walked in the court high, okay, and sweaty with 17 bitches behind him. Crying. It didn't matter. S0le was scared. She didn't want nobody to touch her babies. Okay, so, and I said babies. Because Rickety James hasn't found out that not only does S0le have Ty, but S0le also has a son, Rick James Jr. Rickety James don't know that yet, though. S0le, like I said, S0le got missing. Okay, she like, oh no, you will not take my kid. Now he back on Jan. RJ invited her to Buffalo to meet with his mother. His mother loved Jan. While Jan and Rickety James is in Buffalo smooching, there is a call. Ring. Hello, Rickety James speaking. Rick, bitch, this is Marvin. Nigga, let me speak to my wife. Marvin gets on the phone with the wife and say, Jan, bitch, get here. She was like, Rick, I think that it's best for me to yeah, I'll see you later. Now, later on, Rickety James found out that at the time that Marvin Gaye called his house looking for, his wife Jan, he found out that Marvin Gaye was at a radio station, telling the radio station and its constituents on the air that Rickety James is fucking his wife. And he hoped they have a wonderful, beautiful life together in the future. Now, for many months, Jan tried to make it work with Marvin Gaye. But all it takes is one thing. As soon as Marvin Gaye stopped financially taking care of her, you knew Jan was out the damn door. Okay. Now Jan, she lost because she like, that nigga Marvin and cut me off. Child. So anyway, Ricky James don't feel the same way for her no more. He like, she, ain't nothing good about him. Marvin don't want you. I don't want you. The only reason why I wanted you was because you're Marvin's wife, and Marvin don't like your ass no more. So Ricky James decided to hire her as old, drug earned girl. Okay. And she didn't mind because, she did the boogity sugarity too. So she took a couple of, hits off the top. Rick James is at the American Music Awards, and his date was his mammy. Okay. Now dig this. His mammy, in one of the after parties, schmoozing. She run into Prince, okay? And now she's telling Rick James the story. Son, I met Prince. Ma, you didn't ask him for an autograph, did you? I sure did. But he told me no, he don't give out autographs. Ricky James was like, what? Ricky James was in his feelings because he's like, how dare you, that little motherfucker, tell my mammy no? Who is he? Princey Pooh, you diss my mother? Prince was like, I didn't know that was your mother. RJ say, well, now you know. The manager steps in and, okay, Prince will apologize to you and your mammy and give her an autograph. Nigga, you better. Also in the after party, Grace and Rick is there. He said that them two becoming best friends. And I'm saying Rick and Grace. But I don't know, they both out of pocket. So anyway, they discussing the bullshit with MTV. Now, he recalls the time at Saturday Night Live where he was the guest. You know what's crazy about Saturday Night Live? Saturday Night Live, even during its worst seasons, and trust me, because Saturday Night Live is such a, a trademark of NBC, I don't think it'll ever go off the air, even when they have bad seasons. People still tune in for the musical guests. Rick James on Saturday Night Live? I don't know. I don't remember everything in life, guys. But this was at a time on Saturday Night Live where Eddie Murphy was new and young. He remembers specifically that they kicked Eddie Murphy out of his dressing room so that Rick James could have the dressing room. He also remembers Dan Aykroyd, one of the primetime players, not so primetime players, took him to dinner, okay? And Dan Aykroyd asked Ricky James, could you please do my soundtrack for his movie, Dr. Detroit? Ricky James said, no. Well, Dan Aykroyd said, well, can I use Super Freak? He said, yeah. He said that was the easiest $30,000 he ever made in his life. Y'all, we moving on. He brought a bungalow in LA in this place called the Chateau Marymount. At the time, him and Rod Stewart were best friends. Robin Williams were best friends. Elizabeth Shue. One of these best friends, I forget which one, or I didn't write it down, my bad, showed him a magazine where Linda Blair had said she thought that Ricky James was something, the hottest man or the sexiest man ever or musician ever. Ricky James saw that. I was like, ooh, yes. Next minute you know, they on a date. But that Linda Blair was timing up for his ass. Linda Blair, being a free spirit, she really didn't care about, conforming. We never really do. But she never really cares about opinions in regards to what people think. So when, pictures surfaced of Linda Blair with no top on and Ricky James in the bed with no top on, she didn't care. The pictures got out of there. It didn't mean nothing to her. Ricky James called his relationship with Linda Blair a beautiful love affair. Mm-hmm. That's because she was timing up for your ass. When you got missing, she didn't care. When you fucked another bitch, she didn't care. But let me tell you why Ricky James was so strung out over that Linda Blair. Because remember, Jan is now working for Ricky James. Now, they lovers, okay? They lovers, something like that. They sleeping in the same bed or the same room or whatever the case. But guess what? When Ricky James found out that Linda Blair was coming in town, he took all Jan's shit and threw it in the basement. You heard me? What is she going to say? Ricky James said that she wasn't mad at all. Of course she ain't going to be mad, Ricky. You giving her everything she need. Why would she say something? That would be stupid. Because then y'all will argue and then you could put her the fuck out. She ain't going nowhere. She'll sleep on the roof if you allow her to live there free, feed her, fuck her occasionally, and give her boogity sugarity. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that relationship with Linda Blair didn't last. Here we are. Rickety James is now producing The Temptations as a favor to Bertie Gordy. He felt his power increasing, referencing MTV bullshit, because it is true. You guys might not remember, some of you guys, if you're not old enough, MTV was not messing with black artists at all. And what Rickety James did, because he was like a mainstream artist, every chance he took at every interview, he gave MTV the ninja. Okay, they deserved it. So in turn, what they did to get back at Rickety was they played Prince's Little Red Corvette heavily just to get back at Rickety James. And this is what Rick James says the reason why Prince did so well that year was because MTV pushed them, or pushed him, meaning Prince, despite Rickety James. They didn't like him. Oh, you a nigga, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna push this nigga over here. We don't have a problem with niggas. We got a problem with you, nigga. He goes on to talk briefly about his love for freebase. I told you, Chicago ain't nothing to play with. I wouldn't buy a car there. I wouldn't get, no. I wouldn't do nothing in Chicago. What happened was, so y'all don't think that RJ is just a whole entire nigga, okay? He had hired a investigator to find his wife and his daughter, 0le. The investigator, is that the right name? Private detective? I don't know. Somebody found 0le and Ty, okay? But anyway, this is where he found out that he also had a son, Rick Jr., because the detective was like, okay, she got another baby. They about 4 years apart. Ty and Rickety Jr. is 4 years apart. So what happened was Rick James arranged a meeting for the kids to be flown to where he was. Now, if you have not already done so, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, because it is so important to my success here on the Patreon and the YouTube. Now, remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. Naysayers, my patron loves. Have a good one.